Mental health, summer fun, and helping hands, all top of this week's episode of the Red Couch Rewind. Welcome in. I'm your host, Melissa Bruner. This is where we recap those top interviews you've seen on Eye on Northeast Kansas, the TV show. It comes to you live Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock Central Time from our WIBW TV studios in Topeka, Kansas. A big focus, as you know, for us at WIBW is mental health and the mental health services that you'll find all around the area. You can find more on our website, wibw.com/hearmeseeme. Ad Astra Mental Health and Recovery is behind our efforts this year. They visited, some of their staff did recently, to talk about an interesting integrated approach to care that they have for some folks who are living with certain conditions and certain challenges. Two of their staff members, Travis Freed and Cheetah Yang, visited the Red Couch to talk about this integrated aspect. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
So that's a mouthful, co-occurring disorders. And what does that mean when we're talking about that, Travis?
Absolutely. So it's someone who's identified as having a substance use disorder. Maybe they're using marijuana, maybe they're using opiates, but they also have a co-occurring mental health disorder, something that we're more common of seeing, like our depression, our anxiety type disorders, and we work with them together all at one time because we see how they interact with one another.
What is that connection, Cheetah, that you see, especially when you talk about recovering from substance use?
Yeah, oftentimes we see these youth, they're masking the underlying mental health issues with substances as a way to cope, as a way to make it through their day, and we just kind of want to help them kind of change that. So we try to work with the underlying mental health issues to kind of help mitigate or resolve those things, and then work on the substance abuse piece at the same time.
How big a part of that is first making them understand that they're really not helping, they really are just masking, and it becomes this cycle where things kind of feed into each other, and one gets worse, the other gets worse.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things we teach in our program specifically, is giving them time to sit with their thoughts when they're not using substances, and sit with these feelings they've never had a chance to explore because they've used substances to mask it or to explore it in a different way. And so it's really been helpful to see the kids go through that and process that with our therapists that we have.
When you talk about recovery, does substance use, in the realm that we're talking about here, does it mean that they are addicted to the substances as well, where there's also a physical component to your program?
Yep, so most of the youth that have come into our program, they've crossed that threshold of experimentation, and they're kind of into the either substance abuse or substance dependence. So they're using almost daily, they're using sometimes right away in the morning to get ready for school, to calm their nerves, or they're using during school. And so we just kind of see them when they get to us that it's kind of unmanageable and things have gotten out of control.
Do most of the young people know that there's something else going on besides the substance use?
I think it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
I think they learn when they come to see us because we really, again, focus on that. I think they know, and they don't want to admit it a lot of times because it's hard to face those issues, whatever it is that's going on in their lives, whether it's struggles with parents, struggles with peers at school. And it's just a lot of times we see it as a way to mask the other things going on in their lives.
So for those of us who are on the outside watching the young person, what are some of these warning signs that they might need to contact a place like yours for some of this more intense treatment in a program like this?
For some of the harder drugs, we're talking about opioids, fentanyl use, meth use, the serious withdrawals that they may be experiencing. Alcohol withdrawal is probably one of the most dangerous ones to withdraw from. So you're seeing probably sweats, nausea, vomiting, things like that. A lot of the kids that we see who are using, they're recovering a lot from use, so they're missing a lot of school, or they're not around in the public eye. They're really hidden at home. So if schools are able to get eyes on them and kind of notice those signs, give us a call.
And then for the other component of it, how do you know it's reached a point where you need, because how long can a person be in your program?
So our program is designed for 28 days. And it's not unusual for someone to leave that 28 days and maybe come back for kind of a booster shot of a week or two, as we kind of refer to it.
Describe that, a booster shot, right? Because we need a physical health
so maybe,
analogy there.
Maybe we've relapsed, right? We had a substance. A lot of times what we see is the youth come back and they call us themselves instead of their parents reaching out to us because they saw the progress they've made and they want to come back into our program and say, hey, I need your help again. I want to be able to stay clean off these substances. I need your help with the mental health side of things too. What can you do for me? And we do our best to get them in as soon as we can. But it is up to 28-day stays. Most kids stay 28 days and most come back after 3 or 4 months. It's not unusual to see a youth come back. Not all do, but if they come back, they might stay for a 3-day stay or a week-long stay, just kind of that booster shot to get the education and to learn why we're trying to keep them off that substance.
Why is it good for a young person to have this kind of intensive inpatient program as opposed to simply coming for a couple sessions a week?
So one of our program features is the expectation that families are involved. To sustain that progress and that change outside of our facility, we want the parents to be involved. We want the guardians, the family, so that that change can be sustained on the outside. We don't want them to see it as a punitive measure. They've messed up in their life, they have to come in. So we have the parents held accountable to learn the same things that the youth are learning too, so that they can be equipped and knowledgeable.
You have how many beds for this? What's the demand?
8 beds for this program. We have 24 total with other programs in there as well.
And that's the new facility that Astra built recently for young people.
Yep.
Wow. So people need it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how does it work? We've got a phone number on the screen. Is this all you need to do, and who needs to do it?
Yeah, so you can call on our main line at 785-215-8888. That's the new number for Astra Mental Health and Recovery. You can also reach the old lines at Family Service and Guidance Center and Vallejo, respectively. Those still exist.
I was going to say, if people are like, who now? Yes, that's what we know. Family Service and Guidance and Vallejo. You are now Astra.
And if someone answers at Family Service and Guidance Center, we're all still adjusting too. So occasionally you'll still hear that we are Astra Mental Health and Recovery.
Well, it's important information. Again, you can find this phone number on WIBW.com. If you go to WIBW.com/hearmesee me, you're going to be hearing a lot more, find a lot more resources for different individual things as well. Interesting program. Thanks for telling us about it, guys. Appreciate you.
Melissa.
As always, if you're interested in learning more, just reach out to Astra Mental Health and Recovery. Of course, Astra, if you're not familiar with the name of that organization, we had 2 different organizations, Vallejo Behavioral Health, that was focused on adult care, and then Family Service and Guidance Center, which paid attention to our kids and our families. They merged after the first of the year. They are now Astra Mental Health and Recovery, proud to have them as partners in our community. We also are always proud to talk to the folks over at SENT. They are based in the southeast portion of Topeka. They have a lot of services that they do. They've wrapped around the entire neighborhood, and folks from outside southeast Topeka can come in and get services as well. But one way that they have been reaching out is through the schools and how they have formed some various partnerships with the schools in their neighborhood. Braille Watson is leading up that effort, and he talked about those connections with us. And welcome to you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
It's always good to see you, and your smile.
Same. I keep it fresh for you.
You do a lot with schools. Why are they so important in the grand scheme of things?
Man, a historian once told me that there are 2 cultural epicenters in a community, and that's the church and the school. If you want to see something change, if you've ever seen a big change in the civics of an area, it's always been in one of those 2 places. So we believe that supporting our local schools is paramount when it comes to making transformation in our community and for our neighbors.
SENT Topeka has always been, since you started there in the southeast portion of Topeka, about that wraparound, about looking at where the people are at and meeting them in those spaces. So how did you look around, see the schools, and implement that? What are you doing?
Well, it all starts with relationship. I spent years on campus at Eisenhower Middle School. My daughters were there, and I'm a world-trained musician. I've been all around the world, and so I went in to help with the music program. We helped them get new music curriculum, and then we saw that there were even more needs. And so SENT said, hey, we want to make sure that we're sending even more resources in. So we send in licensed therapists in there to help with things like trauma training. We send former coaches in to be able to help around the sports and all of those different types of pieces. So it's seeing what does the school need, what do the administrator needs, what do the teachers need, and then saying yes and helping to provide that.
And you call it Campus Connections, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so how does that partnership work? Because the schools and the school district certainly has some staff as well that provides some of those things. How do you fit into that gap?
Yes, so Campus Connections, they're all contractors that are hired by SENT. For the schools, they're just volunteers. So we walk in and we say, hey, what are the needs that you have here on campus? Can we help? And then whatever they say, we say yes. So for instance, we have someone who's trained in trust-based relational intervention, TBRI. He came in, he was helping with music programs with me, and then as we found needs in a high trauma environment, you have a lot of kids with high adverse childhood experiences or ACE scores, and he has training specifically to help with those students. So he offered to be in some of the classrooms, and then some of the teachers said, what if we've experienced some trauma ourselves? He said, yeah, I've got coaching for that. And so now he actually coaches some of the teachers there on campus. And he's done so much to where he has a waiting list for the classrooms that he can be in. And he's provided training for all of the social workers in TPS 501 at this point. And so it's looking for what are the needs. We believe the people closest to the problems have the best solutions. And so it's speaking with the people who are there and going, what can we do to serve you?
You know, some people listening might think, well, my goodness, if families want that though, Brill, couldn't they just bring them to the Scent location, or couldn't they opt to take them to a private place? Why is it important that it be right there in the school where the kids already are?
It's for that last reason of what you said. It's where the kids already are. If every family had the opportunity to fulfill every need that they had, they probably would. Mm-hmm. The thing is, our families are doing the best they can with what they have. And they're going to the places that they think they need to go to get what they need. So rather than asking them to add one more thing to their list, we want to go to where they are and see how we can serve them. It's all about serving the families, going to where they are, not asking them to come meet us where we are.
So if you only have enough money to afford gas in the car to go to one spot, and you have a choice between the grocery store for food and a therapy appointment, which one are you going to choose?
Right, and that's why we try to be a one-stop shop. If you come to the Scent campus, you'll find the Southside Filling Station where you can get food resources. You'll find the Southside Wellness Clinic where you can be served there at a reasonable rate, and you're going to find these other resources. But why ask someone to get somewhere new when we can come and bring all those resources to the school and then use that as a connection point to then also connect with the families and allow them to get the rest of the resources as well.
And to be clear, this does not cost the school district anything. It's not costing taxpayer-supported schools anything.
Scent covers it all.
That's amazing. If you would like to learn more about Scent and all the different things that they offer, just go to scenttopeka.com. A lot of different things going on there, Brill. Appreciate you filling us in. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Good to see you. Head on over to Scent Topeka to find out all the various ways they are there, not just for the schools and the kids, but for the entire community. All right, we're going to wrap up this segment by going out of this world. A lot of us have been fascinated with space once again, or maybe rediscovered our fascination with space with the Artemis mission. We have had several Kansans who have been astronauts, and that includes Steve Hawley. He has been on 5 shuttle missions. He is now he does some teaching over at KU, so folks hear from him from time to time, and we wanted to hear some of his perspective as we've rediscovered this love of space through the Artemis missions. He also has a book that is coming out. He visited the Red Couch to tell us a little more about it. Welcome to you.
Thank you very much.
You know, we visited with you when the Artemis mission was going on. How cool is it to see people talking about the space program again?
Yeah, it's very exciting. It was actually kind of sad when we retired the shuttle. We were still flying our astronauts to the space station, although we were paying the Russians. But a lot of people wondered if we had a space program anymore. And so now we have a very visible space program that I think it was fun to see the excitement that it generated.
It's exciting for you because this is the next generation, of course, that kind of groundbreaking initial generation were the Apollo astronauts. You were with the space shuttle. How many missions did you fly, and what was significant about your work?
I flew 5 missions. I was lucky, since I was a professional astronomer before I joined NASA, to get to do 3 missions with telescopes in space. So that was exciting. I think more generally, the shuttle was important because we were able to increase the diversity of people that could fly in space. Instead of just male test pilots, we had hardcore civilians like me, scientists, doctors, engineer, women, minorities that were now able to participate as crew members. I think we did a lot to show what could be done in space. Servicing the telescope, in particular Hubble, building the space station. We increased our knowledge of how to operate in space dramatically, and I think that'll be important for future programs.
Hubble really gave us this look into space that we'd never seen before. How important are those images that came from Hubble? And then Chandra, you were involved a little bit on
yes.
some upkeep there too.
Yeah, they were critical. Although it's interesting, I've been telling people that Hubble was sort of the beginning of a new golden age in astronomy. Part of the reason that we developed Hubble in the first place is we had really done the best we could do from the ground. We couldn't make mirrors that were any bigger than the mirrors we had because they would deform under their own weight. The infrastructure to house them was too large. The atmosphere was what it is, and so we wanted to get sort of new technology that would advance the discipline. Well, while we were doing that, smart people figured out how to improve the technology on the ground. And so now we have 10-meter telescopes on the ground that are tremendously capable, and the combination of Hubble in orbit and the new ground-based observatories have totally rewritten our understanding of the universe.
Well, you named your book Eyes to the Stars. What inspired that title?
That was kind of me from when I was in third grade. I always, from that point on, wanted to be an astronomer. I wanted to study the stars. I grew up in central Kansas, where at least back then the skies were pretty dark and you could see the stars. And then it also captured a bit of my NASA career, being able to, through Hubble and Chandra, help push the discipline forward.
Are you still fascinated with space, or are you kind of been there, done that?
No, I'm still fascinated. A little bit jealous, perhaps, that, you know, if I were a little younger and still with the program, you know, could I go to the moon? I didn't get to do that, but I got to do a lot of things that were really memorable.
Why are these things still so important? Because I think sometimes people look at the space program and they think about, well, isn't that a lot of money that we could spend X, Y, Z? Why is space still something we should be investing in?
Yeah, and I think investment's the right term. There's a tendency, I guess, maybe more on the part of the politicians, but for people to think of the space program as an expense. And I do think it's better to think of it in terms of an investment. Certainly we develop technologies as part of our programs that find uses in everyday life. It's also, I think, important attractor for young men and women who might now study science or engineering or math, because maybe they're not going to be astronauts, but maybe they want to be part of the space program. They want to design spacecraft or robotic missions to the outer planets. And it gives them something to shoot for, which is, I think, important.
It's truly the sky's the limit and beyond when it comes to this. The book is going to officially be out here, you hope, in the next couple of weeks. People will be able to find it.
Yes.
Where are you going to have it for sale? Everywhere you find your books nowadays?
Pretty much. You can get it from drstevehawley.com.
That's a good spot.
It's on Amazon.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we had a longer conversation before the show today that you'll hear in the Hear Me, See Me podcast. That'll drop sometime next month, so we will all look forward to sharing that, because I know I learned a lot. It's fascinating to always hear your different stories. Dr. Steve Hawley, appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Melissa.
We're going to hear a lot more from Steve Hawley here in a couple weeks. Our companion podcast, Hear Me, See Me. We sit down for an extended conversation with Dr. Hawley and find out some of the mental health aspects of what it takes to go to space, being in space, returning from space, and what we all can learn from his experiences in that regard. So stick around for that on the Hear Me, See Me podcast coming up in about a week or so. We are going to be turning our focus to summer when the Red Couch Rewind returns. Welcome back into the Red Couch Rewind. There is an organization that started in Topeka 2 decades ago, and over the years it has brought women together to discover the power of the purse, joining together to support various projects in the community that directly impact women and families. It is called the Women's Fund. They recently awarded their latest round of grants. Valerie Williams stopped in to tell us about their work. Oh, welcome to you.
Thank you.
How long has the Women's Fund been around?
Over 2 decades now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You age very well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How much, so what is the primary goal? What motivated this fund to start?
Sure. So we're a donor advised fund. We are part of Topeka Community Foundation. And really our purpose is kind of like you said, to empower women and really champion women's leadership in community giving and philanthropy.
I like the collective giving part, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people say, well, I can't afford to make a large donation, therefore I can't make a difference at all, which isn't true.
No, not at all. Our smallest donation at our recent event was $5. And believe it or not, even those small gifts make a huge difference.
Absolutely, because your $5 combines with someone else's $5. Suddenly you've got $10, and then someone else gives another $5, and it's multiplying. Math, folks, math.
Yes.
Things add up.
Yes.
What do you look for? And we do have video of that event. This is your major fundraising lunch.
Yep.
Every year you have an annual luncheon. Thank you for asking me to be involved by emceeing this year. You announce your grantees at that time. So how many grants did you award this year, and what kind of dollar value were you looking at?
Sure. So I think the largest we gave was $10,000 to one organization. On the smaller end, it's $1,000 to $2,500. We do a grant application. We gave 8 grants this year. Collectively, since the beginning, we've given over $761,000 to over 51 organizations.
That's amazing. So what do you look for, since you are the Women's Fund and you also have this dual mission, also not just collective power giving, but uplifting women and families? So what do you look for in the folks that you are giving money to?
Sure. Well, at the most base level, organizations, projects, initiatives that are supporting our community overall, but more specifically those that really champion women and children specifically.
So one of the awardees this year, correct me if I'm wrong, it was the Villages and a new home that they just started for expectant moms who are they incarcerated or just out of that type of environment?
Most of them are transitioning out, and so really just trying to adjust to the day-to-day living. And so Sheila over at the Villages and their group have 6 homes that they have remodeled and refurbished and built out. I just chatted with her the other day. I think they have their 3rd mother joining them.
Wow.
And
you're talking about a group that helps women who need this start in life, a hand up so that they can rebuild and become productive members of society again, which is the goal of rehabilitation when someone goes through something like that. What are some of the other grantees you'd love to highlight?
Sure.
It's hard to pick, I know, just
I
one.
know, but I'm like, gosh, that felt like so long ago. Sent Topeka, I know we awarded them. Arts Connect was one of them. We've supported Kansas Children's Discovery Center. And now I'm suddenly drawing.
Foundation, I think Topeka North Outreach, so kids have back snacks when they go home for the weekend. Goodness gracious. I mean, so there's like this huge group, and you're right, the common thread, women and families.
Absolutely.
And how do people, first of all, if they want to apply for a grant, what does that process look like? When do they need to have stuff in by? When do you start taking those applications for next spring?
Sure. So our applications will open this fall. They can go to topekawomensfund.com to apply. We have a grants committee that reviews those and narrows it down. And then our membership, which consists of about 415 women, have a stake in who gets those funds. So we solicit ballots for those.
What does it take to be a member? Just give a donation?
Yep.
That's easy enough. No sign up, no application, no little initiation process, no secret club going on. Well, that's easy enough. So let's put up their website again, topekawomensfund.com. You do have a donate button on there as well.
We do. And we have a wonderful organization, a great group of members, but we love seeing that next generation kind of get involved and really champion the continuation of the support for women and children in our group.
There's so much good, and it was very impressive to hear the stories of your grantees this year. Valerie, thanks for coming and telling us all about it. Go to the Women's Fund to learn more. Appreciate you. The Women's Fund is supporting some great projects around the area. Just seek them out if you'd like to learn more, or maybe you know of a group or individual who could use the help of applying for those grants through the Women's Fund. We're talking summer now, and when it comes to summertime, needs change for some of our organizations. That includes Topeka Rescue Mission Ministries. In the winter months, we often talk about how they need the hats and the gloves and the socks and all of those things. The summer brings its own set of challenges. We recently had a visit from John Roberts and Scott Bryant to tell us how you can reach out to our neighbors in need. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
So the needs, I imagine, are a little bit different. Typically, we're talking about we need boots and gloves and hats and that sort of thing. When you head into the summer, what do you find people are looking for?
Yeah, change of season comes with a change of priorities of donations that come in. So we always need cool weather stuff. So t-shirts and shorts, socks are always a big thing, right? Socks are no matter what the season are. So that's a heavy need. And so clothing is a need, as well as just things like water and snacks as the temperatures raise. That puts a burden on people's bodies who are living outside. So just the most water and sport beverages or snacks that we can have just to keep people nourished and refreshed is always important.
That makes sense. You're always sending people out with those. Scott, you kind of take care of the distribution. How do you reach people with these things? If people need a little helping hand, how do you get it to them, or how can people ask?
A lot of needs. People come to our donation door. We call them our neighbors, and they come there. If they need water, we have water for them, of course. We try to keep them hydrated. And if they need snacks or something to eat, we try to supply them with that or send them in the right direction to get those needs.
And are you still doing outreach as well to try and bring some things directly to some folks who maybe don't come to you?
We do MAP on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so we of course send people there, but we also help them a lot because we do food distribution on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we supply them with like canned goods or meat or other items like that also.
Some things are year-round. You have a unique need right now, John, and that has to do with furniture. What do you need, and why do you need it?
That's right. So one of the things that we do is when people move out of our shelter and back into independent housing is we do what's called the completion of program. So we want to help furnish their apartment for multiple reasons. One is just so that it's a nice, welcoming space for them to move in at this important milestone in their life and that they have what they need. The other thing is just a more practical need, which is, we don't want people to spend their first couple paychecks once they've left the shelter and are back into their own apartment to have to go towards microwaves and silverware and couches and all of those things. And so we rely on donations from our community that when they have household items that they don't need anymore or want to donate, that we will come and we'll even come and pick them up and be able to help furnish people's houses as they move in. And so recently we have been housing a lot of folks, which is great. That means that our programs are being successful, but it also means an increased need in some of these furniture donations.
Scott, John mentions you'll go and pick things up if needed, but how else can people get donations to you?
They can always take them Monday through Friday to the distribution center at 401 North Norris and just drop them off if they'd like. They can call and set up a schedule or schedule a time for us to come pick them up.
Does it work the same way for those bigger items? Because I imagine they would take up more room in storage, although it's good that in this instance you're going to probably get them out the door pretty quickly.
If they want to bring a truckload of stuff, that is more than welcome.
You'll find a space for
we will,
if
yes.
it's going to get to people.
Yes.
Anything that we should keep in mind? And I guess by one of those things, I mean, it's nice if we don't need it anymore to give it to someone else. However, you don't want things that are broken, I imagine.
Correct.
You want things that are usable, that don't need a lot of repair.
Right. Beds are very needed right now. Couches are always welcome. Reclining chairs. We move people into sometimes smaller apartments, sometimes bigger, but the couches, recliners, beds are very, very needed. End tables, stuff like that, kind of like your basic setup, you know what I mean?
And we always just want to make sure that those are still a good quality. So if there's any tears or rips in furniture, or if there's furniture or beds that are stained, those are things that we couldn't use. But anything lightly used or new to good condition, we'd be happy to come and get.
You can find their wish list, all of this information, including the addresses if you missed them, a phone number if you need more information because you're not just quite sure if this is something they could use or not. Go to trmonline.org. That is where you can find the information on how to assist the Topeka Rescue Mission Ministries. John and Scott, thank you. Appreciate all that you do. And there it is again, trmonline.org. Bottled water is so vital for them during the summer months, and it's interesting, as they said, socks. They always need socks, year-round, always need those. So check out TRM if you'd like to help others in our community. Let's talk a little bit about summer fun. The Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library has a lot of events planned. They say you will have a roaring good time. Jana McFarland visited to tell us what they have in store. Welcome to you. Summer's always such a fun time at the library.
It is the best time of year. There's something going on every single day, and we have fun for all ages.
But you are roaring about everything this year. Is it really just dinosaur themed, or is there more?
So much about dinosaurs. But, we've also got America's 250th, and the World Cup is happening just down the road. We're roaring about that, too. And we're also remembering the tornado. So we have so many things we're interested in, but it's a lot about dinosaurs.
A lot about dinosaurs. So let's start with reading, because that's what it's all about. And I'm having way too much fun with this dinosaur pen. What is it all about? And can we get one?
Oh, absolutely. We are a community of readers, and we're celebrating that all summer long. Kids can earn prizes for every 2 hours of reading, up to 8 hours, and teens too. But adults can win prizes for reading 3 books, and that's how you earn that dinosaur pen.
Okay.
To write down your very important things. And also a tote bag if you read 6 books.
Ooh.
So that book you listen to on your run, or maybe there's an audiobook, or maybe there's a book for a beach read, you can win prizes for that.
And that's really easy. You just sign up at the library website.
That's right.
You also have more things with you.
Yes. We have a lot of dinosaur-themed activities coming up. We have activities every single day. So one thing you might do is make this little dinosaur terrarium. It's like a little dinosaur park in a jar. We're also going to see how many kids can fit inside this Stegosaurus footprint.
Is this like real size?
This is the life-size footprint of a Stegosaurus. So I don't know, you might kind of guess how many kids might fit into one footprint, but we'll find out for sure.
How and when do these activities run? You said something every day, but when do they start up and how long?
So elementary school age activities happen Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 10 and 1, and also Mondays at 6. And then we've got activities for the little ones on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Adults have fun every Friday night, and teens have fun on Wednesdays.
We have the full schedule. You can just check the calendar at tscpl.org. Earn your tote bag.
A tote bag. We have one for adults, and this one's for kids.
Oh, I love it, Jana. Thank you so very much. Again, tscpl.org has the whole calendar of events to keep the kids and you reading. As you heard Jana say, something just about every day will be going on at the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library. I'm sure your local libraries are planning a lot of activities as well. Keep the kids reading and interested and active over the summer months. There's a lot to do, and a lot of it at no cost if you just look around your own communities. Glad to have you along this week. Remember, you can see the video of these segments and all of the guests who visit our studios when you go to WIBW.com. Just find the Ion Northeast Kansas section. You will also find an Ion Northeast Kansas section on our mobile app, as well as on our streaming platforms like the Roku apps and things that you might have on your TV at home. Of course, if you want a little behind the scenes look, we post our studio selfies from every day on my Facebook page. That's WIBW Melissa Brunner. Until next time, we'll see you on the Red Couch.